What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I was inspired to do this video because of the Brother Blood Boxing. He's been covering a lot of articles, and I was inspired by that. He's doing a great job. And I said, how can I help Blood Boxing and his efforts in trying to show information? And I said, I have over 1 million articles. No, I have over 1 million, probably 2 to 3 million articles, going back from the 1600s to somewhat current time. And I reached out to Blood and I told him I'll cover from 1700s to the 1800s in his efforts of trying to give you information. And the thing is, I have, like I said before, I have scrapbooks, 950, a total of 1,000. But each book of the 950, that fighter has his own book. So we're looking at the Jack Dempsey scrapbook. It's 1,000 pages, 2,000 pages front and back information. Just about everything he's ever done. And I have the thing with Harry Greb, the same thing with Henry Armstrong, or Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson. Have 5 books of him. Sammy Mandel has his own book. And Barney Ross has his own book. Jimmy McLaurin and Jack Johnson has 2 books. Harry Wills has his own book. I have 2 books I'm contemplating. I don't know if I'm going to show those. Those 2 books are black fighters. The whole book. Both of them. 1,000 pages each. 2,000 pages front and back of information of black fighters from the 1700s coming up. And they're photos and articles you're not going to find because I haven't found them. So I'm contemplating on that. And the pictures in those books are ridiculous. It's unbelievable. But right now you're looking at Jack Dempsey and Louis Angel FERPO. That fight took place September 14, 1923. It was the 5th title offense of Jack Dempsey. Fought at New York's Polo Grounds. Jack Dempsey had earned $468,000. And it was amazing. It was 85,000 spectators. Now the thing is, when you look at BoxRec and some of the other online archives, if you will, they're going to tell you 80,000. So 85,000 spectators. So I get my direct source information from my books. But Jack Dempsey was born June 24th, 1895 in Manassas, Colorado. He died May 31st, 1983. He was 87 years of age at the time of his death. He stood 6'1" and he had a 77-inch reach. He was a heavyweight. Had total bout career of 68 fights, 54 wins, 44 knockouts, 6 losses. He was stopped 1 time by fireman Jim Flynn, and he had 8 draws. Fought between November 2nd, 1914 and September 22nd, 1927. He scored a first-round knockout in his first fight over Young Hancock. He was in the ring with Carl Morris February 4th, 1918, Broadway Arena. Fireman Jim Flynn, February 13th, 1917. It was outstanding KO, but like I said, he was knocked out by fireman Jim Flynn in the first round. He fought 3 times. He was in the ring with John Lester Johnson, Willie Meade 4 times, Bill Brennan 3 times, Porky Dan Flynn, Billy Misk. He was in the ring with him 3 times. He faced Louis Angel FERPO, who was born October 11th, 1894, Buenos Aires, and he died August 7th, 1960. He was 65 years of age at the time of his death, and he was residing in Argentina. He stood 6'2.5" and he had a 79-inch reach. He was a heavyweight. Fought from 1917 to 1936. Had a fighting career record of 36 total bouts, 31 wins, 29 knockouts, and 4 losses. Now the thing is, he was in a ring in Boyles Acres, Jersey City, New Jersey. Homer Smith, Bill Brennan, Jess Willard, Knocked all these men out. September 14th, 1923 was when he fought Jack Dempsey. And what was interesting about that fight, and I'll let you see the articles, was that Jack Dempsey was thrown out of the ring. And this was after Louis Angel FERPO was down 7 times. It was a 2-round affair. But it was illegal action and activity that took place in that fight. Because when a man gets out of the ring, he has 20 seconds to get back in the ring. And he was pushed back in by the newspapermen. But the fight continued. One of the greatest fights in boxing history. And after that fight was over, the promoter from Long Island City had offered Jack Dempsey a fight with the current heavyweight champion Harry Wells, 1924. Dempsey and Kearns had turned down that fight. And the second opportunity that Harry Wells would have would be in 1926, but he lost in a foul to Jack Sharkey. And Jack Dempsey, when he came out of retirement, he went immediately to Gene Tunney. They fought twice. And that was about it for Jack Dempsey. He would make a comeback, and I believe it was 48, Cowboy Terrell. But Jack Dempsey and Louis Angel FERPO was some fight. Let me show you the article between these two men. As you can see here, I'm moving it around at this point in time. Jack Dempsey sent Louis Angel FERPO crashing to the canvas in the second round for a count of 10 after cheering spectators. Now, this took place in the New York Polo Grounds. This is in New York, 85,000 wild, screaming spectators. They were cheering along. It was the night of September 14th, 1923. Now, FERPO was counted out as a vanquished challenger 57 seconds after the opening of the second round. And I'm just going to move this around a little bit just to give you somewhat of a perspective of how this fight went. I'm going to show you some pictures of that particular fight. Very interesting. Very, very interesting fight. And like I said, Jack Dempsey, he was a very hard puncher. He was known as Kid Blackie when he was fighting in Manassas, Colorado. And he had a right hand called Iron Mike, and this was basically given to him when he was perceived of having plaster of Paris in his right hand. So let's take a look at that fight between FERPO and Jack Dempsey. So you have Jack Dempsey and Louis Angel FERPO. And like I said, it took place in New York's Polo Grounds. And this was some fight. It was a great build-up because Jack Dempsey was not too much shorter than Louis Angel FERPO. But Jack Dempsey could punch. And FERPO fought much better than Primo Carnera. I mean, he was a big man, but he had a little bit more of style to him. And Carnera, he wasn't, he was more of a, matter of fact, I give Jess Willard a better credentials than Primo Carnera, but FERPO and Willard wound up fighting each other. And Willard, he was past his prime by then, but I'm just showing you a little bit of the Dempsey and FERPO fight. Like I said, it took place 1923. And here you have Jack Dempsey is the winner. So this is just a sample. I'm just going to give you some run-throughs of some of these fights. But I'll be showing you some articles from the 1700s to the 1800s of some fights that you either are not familiar with or you heard of them, but you'll get an opportunity to see some articles. So I want to shout out Blood Boxing. Take a look at his information. He's doing a tremendous job. And I commend it because I know the type of research it takes in order to do things like that. So Blood Boxing, I'm dedicating this video to you, brother. Continue doing the good work. And I'll join you in your efforts of showing some articles. This is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Salute to Jack Dempsey and Louis Angel FERPO. Shout out to the brother Blood Boxing. And look out for some more articles. And if you want to see more articles, you have to let me know in my comment section so I will not waste my time. All right, thanks for hanging in there with me. Salute.